there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Day to Day, the podcast where we explore the joys and challenges of everyday life. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. Whether it's personal growth, navigating relationships, or just tackling the chaos of the day, we're here to talk about it all and hopefully help you along the way.
So grab your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you going.
And let's dive into today's episode.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to our show. Today, we're diving deep into something most of us ponder at some point: our romantic lives and the idea of the love script. It sounds like a rom-com, but nope, it's all about understanding our patterns in relationships.
Exactly. We're talking about that strange feeling of déjà vu you get when each relationship seems to follow the same path. It's like, haven't I seen this episode before? Why do some of us keep stumbling into similar predicaments, even with different partners?
Right? It's like your love life is following a script, one you didn't even know you had. But the big question is, are we destined to repeat these same stories?
Well, funny enough, some experts think we might be working off of an unconscious love script. Clyde and Susan Hendrick, for example, have done some fascinating work in this area, suggesting that these patterns might deeply influence who we choose as partners and how our relationships unfold. It's kind of wild when you think about it.
Totally. And it brings us to this interesting thought. If we do have these scripts, how do we spot them? More importantly, can we change them to avoid those dreaded bad endings?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So how about we explore how personality assessments might give us clues to our love scripts? This concept of analyzing one's love life through structured questions might sound like a personality quiz, but it's based on real psychological theories.
Exactly, it's more scientific than you'd think. There's actually a test developed, pulling from different psychological dimensions, like independence versus dependence, or being a romantic versus a practical thinker. It helps pinpoint what role you might naturally play in your love narrative.
And with 4 key dimensions, it's quite detailed. For instance, do you lean more towards adventure in relationships, or do you seek stability? Each of these polarities combine to sketch out a pretty vivid picture of your relationship behavior.
I find it fascinating, like being able to take a step back and look at your love life from an outsider's perspective, almost like knowing the plot twists in a novel you're living out. But how do you think knowing your script could actually help?
Great question. Once you've identified these patterns or scripts, you could start anticipating potential issues before they arise. It's like having a map to navigate toward a happy ending, instead of veering off into a ditch.
So in theory, it empowers you to make choices that align better with what you truly need from a relationship, instead of what you unconsciously gravitate towards without realizing.
Exactly. We all have different needs, and recognizing those can prevent us from going along with societal norms or cliches that simply don't fit us.
It's like realizing that not every romantic comedy is the blueprint for your own love story. Sometimes what works in a Hollywood script doesn't exactly translate to real-life satisfaction.
Totally. And by figuring out your own lead role, you might avoid the casting of roles that just don't mesh well with yours, which is like a preventative measure against heartbreak.
It's refreshing to think that with a bit of introspection, we could really transform our relationship patterns. Are there any particular tips or practices to start rewriting these scripts?
For starters, becoming aware is key, so taking one of those thoughtful assessments is a great first step. After that, talking with a therapist or coach could also help solidify any changes or realizations you want to make.
And maintaining an open dialogue with your partner can also reveal a lot. Sometimes just getting honest feedback about what works and what doesn't can be incredibly insightful.
And if you're single, well, identifying your natural tendencies could help you recognize who's right for you and who isn't before any scripts start playing out.
I love that idea. It's all about staying proactive rather than reactive in our love lives. Avoiding the same old plot twists that we're tired of seeing in the movie theater of our romantic lives.
Well summed up. Remember, folks, the one thing more romantic than a scripted movie ending is writing your own story with a happy ending you're excited about.
So true. Thanks everyone for joining us today on this insightful exploration of love scripts. Don't forget, each relationship is an opportunity to star in the best version of your love story.
Absolutely, and with every choice, you're the director of that plot twist. Take care, and we'll catch you next time on Podcast Name. Bye for now.